support free content. Logo popping up here. Boom. All right. So, we're now going to be going through the MAC, which, if you guys don't know, is Akron, Buffalo, Ohio, Miami, Kent State, Bowling Green in the East. And over in the West, we have Western Michigan, Toledo, Northern Illinois, Eastern Michigan, Central Michigan, and Ball State. So, we're going to get into this. And again, this is one of those that doesn't really play a conference game, isn't really going to be in the race for championships. So, none of this is really going to matter to the overall session. Like this. I don't think they ever plan on winning this. This, or this, or let's see, this, or this, or this. Like, these are games that it really isn't hard to figure out who's going to win them. Because they're just week one beatdowns. The other ones are just week one beatdowns the other way. So Western Michigan's going to beat up on St. Francis. Eastern Michigan is going to beat down on Howard. Boston College beats Northern Illinois. Ohio beats Long Island. Temple beats Akron. Liberty. I believe I have Bowling Green actually beating Liberty. Illinois probably loses to Toledo. Okay, so next up, week 2. Bowling Green beats Eastern Illinois to stay perfect on the season. They're trying to compete hard next season, and it's probably not going to work. Central Michigan, Florida Atlantic probably beats Ohio. Southern Illinois loses to Northern Illinois. Syracuse beats Western Michigan. God, they start off with an interesting one. Buffalo beats Fordham. Akron beats Morgan State, probably. See again, just ass whoopings coming their way. UMass, Toledo, Minnesota. Okay. So, Ball State, UMass, a lot of losing this week for the MAC in week 3. But yeah, now it looks like we're going to be getting somewhat soon into conference play. But going into conference play, we are having some interesting turn of events. Bowling Green, and it's not hard to see how. Ball State, Fresno State, week 5, shall we? Yeah. Akron, I know, is one of the worst in the country. Um, Toledo, Ball State. Number 6. All right. So, following week 6, we have Ball State at 4-2, leading. All right. No, Toledo at 5-1, 2-0 conference, leading the division, with Ball State at 4-2, 2-0 conference, and Central Michigan at 3-3, 2-0 in the conference. Those are the people doing fairly well for themselves in the West. Or, sorry, I should say, West. So in the East, they have 5-1 Bowling Green, and then it immediately drops off at 2-4 Ohio. So realistically, Bowling Green's the only one in the East that's going to do anything. Is what it's looking like, and none of these guys are contending for playoff berths or what have you. Ball State beats Toledo, Central Michigan over Akron. Kent State probably pulls that off. Northern Illinois, Bowling Green, Miami of Ohio. While I was on the road in Ohio, we also saw a ton of like Miami of Ohio stuff. Whenever we were, we were also in the city that holds that university, so it is what it is. But all right. So, following week 9, before we get into week 10 stuff, Central Michigan, now at 4-0 in conference, sits atop the conference at 5-3 in the West. I guess this is both of them. So Toledo is 6-2 at 3-1 in conference. Ball State 5-3, 3-1 in conference. Northern Illinois 4-4, 3-1 in conference. And then Eastern Michigan and Western Michigan are both of the worst in that side, and we don't really talk about them. Bowling Green really is the only thing worth talking about on this side at 7-1. 4-0 conference. Everyone else is really not even close. So it's pretty likely that any conference champion is going to come from this division, which isn't saying much because it's not really that great. Central Michigan, Toledo beats Buffalo, Bowling Green beats Ball State, and Kent State probably beats Akron. All right. Number 11. Northern Illinois at home beats Ball State. Buffalo loses to Ohio. Central Michigan beats Western Michigan. Bowling Green goes on the road and beats Kent State, Miami, Ohio, and Toledo. And week 12, Bowling Green beats Toledo. Eastern Michigan beats Akron. Northern Illinois, Western Michigan, Miami of Ohio beats Buffalo. Central Michigan beats Ohio. And I would say Kent State probably beats Ball State. So going into our last week of the regular season before we go into conference championship week. And by the way, I will be attaching the other conference championship weeks onto the end of this. Just because I feel like doing so, and I didn't actually put them into their proper videos. Anyway, so we're going to start this off with Eastern Michigan, Buffalo. Going to go ahead with Buffalo there. Bowling Green should beat Western Michigan. They're going to close out their season at 11-1. Again, most of that is because of them being excellent this season in conference at 8-0. And them scheduling a relatively easy out-of-conference schedule this season. Anyway, Central Michigan versus Toledo. I would probably have Toledo, especially because they're battling for an opportunity. Well, realistically, this type of conference championship wouldn't work that way anyway, because they have divisions. Akron probably loses. Well, neither of them are making a championship. I would say they probably both play their hardest, but they're going to play down to Akron's level in the last game of the season. They're kind of feeling bad. Anyway, Ball State, Ohio. Miami of Ohio probably wins in Kent State. So, MAC Conference Championship, Bowling Green, Central Michigan. I have Bowling Green coming out victorious. So for American, they don't have divisions. Tulane, UAB. I'm going to have Tulane going 13-0 and really raking it in. They have a possibility of making the playoffs this season. I genuinely think that. And CUSA, again, no conferences. Louisiana Tech and Western Kentucky. And I think Western Kentucky probably upsets Louisiana Tech at 6-6 to win the CUSA championship. Alrighty. Well, that was the 3 conferences that I've already done. The American, Conference USA, and the MAC. Next will be probably the Mountain West, followed by the Sun Belt. Then we'll have the ACC, Big 12, Pac-12, Big 10, and SEC. That's most likely how I'm going to do this ordering, just because I am an SEC fan, and it's always going to be my number 1. Anyway, hopefully you all did enjoy. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.